Alright, everyone, I want to welcome you to the Cult of Larry Draft League Week 8 recaps for Season 1. I'm Dr. Geo, and with me is...
P McGee.
And we're going to bring you all the excited happenings of what's going on in the league. And since we're in Week 8, we're really going to take a little dive into playoffs, because I think at this point they're pretty well formed. There's a few people still in the running, but... the top and the bottom have been decided. Maybe not final seeds, but who's coming and who's going home, that's kind of no longer up in the air.
There's maybe a couple of folks still on the bubble, but by and large we're just deciding seeding at this point, just in a lot of these divisions. So still some excitement there to be had, especially if the top seeds for contention, but I think that's largely just in Master Division when we get there.
Yeah, Master's been decided. Like, it's down to 8 teams out of 7.
Yes.
Sorry, spoilers there, but I'm not sure how many people just memorize the standings watching this week to week that aren't in the league looking at standings already, but that's okay.
Exactly.
Alright, so without further ado, we're going to jump into it. So here we go. So week 1, or not week 1, our first match, our first match is between the Portland Pincers, coached by Jeg, going up against the Richland Raichus, coached by Mo. Let's see what they brought. Whoa, maybe it wasn't. Hold up. There we go. Okay, that was a weird thing on my screen. All right. So on the Portland side, we have the Mega Aerodactyl, the Urshifu Single Strike, Mew, Rotom, good one, Scissor, and Sylveon.
And then on Mo's side, we got the Alolan Persian, the Zapdos, the Mega Mawile, the Slurpuff, the Hisuian Zoroark, and the Mamoswine.
Slurpuff can actually put in some work. Oh wait, it's not faster than Mega Aerodactyl, even with double. It's like base 70?
It's 77, I think. So
oh,
I think
okay, it is faster. It is faster.
Yeah.
Because 75 is Mega Swamp, and Mega Swamp will outspeed and rain. So you could belly drum. I don't know if you want to, but you could.
I respect the belly jump play. Scizor is probably one of the worst bonds to try to do that against because
Fire
you get
Punch
revenge so hard. But you get revenge killed hard by Bullet Punch.
Oh right,
So
I'm saying this as if Bullet Punch isn't the one move you run on every Scissor every week forever.
Like, if you're not running Bullet Punch on your Scizor, especially like against a Mamoswine team, you're not running your Scizor right.
Yeah. Okay. No. Never mind. Never mind. Okay. So in reality, though, this is looking pretty tough for Mo to like hold off any of this offense from Jag. Like,
basically, he needs to get turns where Mega Mawile gets in safely in front of Scizor or Sylveon, where he gets free click opportunities, and Jeg is more or less forced to sack something to try to withstand the Mega Maw pressure.
And Zapdos is always going to come in on Urshifu, which if it's a U-turn is going to bring out Mega Aerodactyl, and then it's free to click a move and like...
Yep.
I mean, eventually, you only have one Stone Edge resist, and eventually he's not going to click Stone Edge as the Mamoswine comes in, and that's going to hurt. Exactly. It's not even a resist, it's neutral, but like... I guess Mawile can before it's Mega. Once it's Mega, it's it's just tough. It's tough to switch in on the Mega Arrow. It can always guesstimate with a Earthquake too.
True.
So I think this is actually a really tough matchup for Emma with what he bought. The Alolan Persian's gonna eventually get worn down. You just hope it spreads some paralysis first.
Yeah, that's really all you're hoping to get out of that is maybe some status spam and a couple of pivots into Mega Mawile. But basically, if Mo gets off the back foot at all in this match, it's pretty hard to get back into the game.
Let's see. Yeah, and Jeg is able to take it. And we see Sylveon get the kills. I think this was a Calm Mind Sylve, and once Mawile goes down, like, not much here to really stop it. Like,
no, nothing
Banded
at all,
Mamoswine's probably the only thing that can, like, 2-hit KO it at that point. So it's just...
But yeah,
Tough. So good job, Jug. Or Shifu gets some more kills. Very cool. So alright, we're gonna move on. Coming up next, we have the New York Yamask, coached by Jordan, going up against the District Darmanitan, coached by Iris. Let's see what they brought. So on Jordan's side, we have the Ursaluna, the Hisui and Lilligant, Jirachi, Manaphy, Wukumuku, and Larry. Oops, and Weavile.
And then on Iris' side, we got the Latias, the Mega Swampert, the Tangela, the Celesteela, the Pelipper, and the Zeraora. So Tangela is actually like a really tough thing for Ursaluna to deal with because you don't.
Regenerator. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you can't really break it. You can't status it because Ursaluna doesn't have a status move in this league. It's just really bulky defensively.
yeah, and I was kind of thinking here how nice the Zeraora looks on the Rain team.
Oh yeah.
That's a combo maybe I've never really thought to put together, but like if you can't get the Zapdos, like Zeraora may even be better just as like an extra insurance policy. And then you can really just use Mega Swampert to break. You don't have to worry about it to always sweep.
Exactly. You can always clean games with Zeraora because you have that crazy good speed tier to work with.
Because I think that's one of the hard things about Rain is, which has been relieved a bit in Gen 8, that Swampert has flip turn now. So you get Mega Swamp, flip turn in the Rain, which is awesome.
Yep.
But anywho, let's see how this turned out for our friends. Yeah, and it's a 3-0 here, and Zeraora cleans up. If I looked at these stats, yeah, look at these stats, it looks like Swampert gets to break some things, and Zeraora cleans up. It's just really tough.
I think what I recall happening is eventually the Ursaluna goes down or gets weak enough that it can't switch in on Zeraora anymore, and then if Zeraora is just allowed to click Plasma Fist freely here, there's not really anything you can do about it because Jirachi isn't a great answer unless it's really bulky. And then Pukumuku, Manaphy, Weavile, Lilligant can't switch in.
Lilligant gets like one free switch in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. Alright, moving on. Good job, Iris, by the way. Next up we have the Arizona Absols, coached by Robopup, going up against the Denton Zoroark, coached by Spirit Union. What we got here?
I believe this is one of our featured. Yeah, this is one of our featured matches.
Oh, okay, then we're good.
We'll be back. We'll be back.
We will be back. I didn't know Glitch X had a remix of Those Who Fight. And it's the Final Fantasy battle music. Final Fantasy VII battle music. Like I hear it in the background. And I know you can't hear it because I just have it playing on my side.
Yeah.
Not that you like music anyway.
This is true. I drive in silence.
Alright, let's see. This is the St. Louis Charizard, coached by Zardace, going up against Delaware Dodrio, coached by Hysterically. So on the Charizard side, we have the Umbreon, Dragapult, Skarmory, Metacham, Weezinglar, and Heliolisk.
And then on Hysterically side, we got the Mega Scizor, the Mandibuzz, the Mienshao, the Latios, the Donphan, and the Roserade. So Scizor basically destroys this game if Skarmory gets too weak. So Ace is super reliant on keeping that Skarmory alive, or it's basically an auto lose to like a Swords Dance Scizor clicking Bullet Punch.
Conversely, it's a little difficult to switch into the Heliolisk. Like Mega Scizor
not bad.
Roserade though loses to like you can still spam Volt Switch, but it's hard because if Donphan switches into a Surf, then you're in trouble. So there's no free switch-ins here, and this would be a great week to not lock Heliolisk into a choice lock item.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Skarm needs to stay for Mega Scissor, so you gotta protect that. Other than that, like, it's really tough. You know, if Metacham gets a chance to click buttons, things are looking pretty good. Mandibuzz can probably comfortably take a hit before it dies. You can always get a Brave
Yeah.
Bird off. It doesn't gonna kill, but Mine Shout can come in, and then so can Scissor. So
Basically, I think both sides are just trying to create enough momentum where they can get through the one defensive piece they need to, because Latios pops off if Umbreon goes down, Manchow or Scizor pop off if Skarmory goes down. Um, Dracopult has a pretty easy time if Mandibuzz goes down. So
it's a
a lot of
pretty
this is just getting the
even, like, looking at this. Like,
yeah,
you can get some spikes and rocks up on either side, like you're gonna feel real good too. Let's see
exactly.
how this shakes out. The 6-0 for Zardes, and oh, it's all Skarm. Yeah,
Oh,
here,
that's right.
yeah,
This was
Iron
an Iron
Defense.
Defense body press bet. Yeah. So I think Latios went down or got to the point he couldn't switch in safely on a body press, and so Skarmory started picking up some KOs, and then it just
That'll do it.
spiraled there.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Roserade needs HP hidden power moves back. HP Fire,
Yes.
please.
Yes.
That'll make
It
me good again. Last time I was good at Pokemon, Roserade was allowed to use hidden power. That was the
and
key.
you were running some good, very clutch hidden power poisons. One of my favorite pieces of tech you brought.
That was wild. Anywho, no, this isn't the time to wax poetic.
No.
Good job, Zardes. All right. Coming up next, we have the Midwestern Ultras, coached by Pro Shuriken, going up against Team Nuclear Warfare, coached by Tox. Who they brought. Pro Shuriken side, we have the Landorus, Crawdaunt, Mega Beedrill, Regieleki, this is Tapu Fini, and Claydol.
And then on Tox's side, we've got the Ditto, the Blissey, the Gliscor, the Cloyster, Salazzle, and then the Mega Sableye. So Crawdaunt kind of smacks pretty hard here. There's no switch in, and Crawdaunt, because of how slow half this team is, Crawdaunt actually gets several opportunities just to click knock off super freely, or go for a Crab Hammer even, if Cloyster's weakened down. So Crawdaunt pops off anytime Sharp is able to get the field with that.
Yeah, it
Uh,
does.
Olecki obviously has some issues because Gliscor's there, and Gliscor's a pretty hard counter to Olecki, but if you can get rid of the Gliscor early off of a bad play or something like that, then all of a sudden Regieleki turns into a scary machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tox has some pieces. Ditto is pretty interesting as a reverse sweep in case Crawdaunt tries Dragon Dancing or something crazy like that, or Landorus Calm Mind
Even
and doesn't
then, like
find some.
it needs to actually like carry. Well, it's gonna have close combat because we'll see. But maybe it doesn't need it if after Dragon Dance. Crazy thing.
I don't think it needs it at all. I'm pretty sure Crab Hammer just with a life orb, or especially a band, can more or less destroy a Blissey.
Yeah,
I'll check the
probably.
calc on that, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty atrocious, and he gets
Let's see what we got.
smacked.
Yeah, and it's a 3-0 for Pro Shuriken. I want to say there was something wild like Claydol was Choice Scarf here.
I don't know if it was Choice Scarf. I know
It
it was
was faster
Speed.
than +1 Crawdaunt.
Yeah, but I think it's possible that was just a no speed Crawdaunt because what is it? Claydol has like a 75 speed stat.
Oh right,
Crawdaunt
it's
has a
middling.
55.
So yeah, it could
So
have been something like that. But yeah, so
yeah,
Midwestern Moltres are able to take it with a little bit of help from everyone on the team. There was one little shot at the end where Crawdaunt had a Dragon Dance up. Ditto was able to come in, but it just wasn't. And the Claydol was able to
hmm
KO it before it got out of control. So
yeah, Claydol did solid work there, and then Regieleki, picked up its couple of KOs at the end.
yeah, and then that's it. Good job, guys. All right. Up next, we have Hope's Peaks Deoxys, coached by Joshua, going up against the Vancouver Pavilions, coached by Soul. On Joshua's side, we have the Gengar, the Mega Aggron, Rotom Heat, Tornadus Therian, Slowbro, and Kyurem.
And then on Soul's side, we got the Garchomp, the Azelf, the Infernape, the Corviknight, the Kecleon, and the Xurkitree. Kecleon's a pretty great bring actually for a Gengar matchup.
Yeah,
It can be real difficult to deal with.
good ways to take it out. This is like offense meets the regenerator core,
Yes.
Um,
I mean, there's no ground type here, which is pretty notable because Xurkitree gets, and Xurkitree is usually a Scarf Mon. He gets to Volt Switch super freely here, which creates windows for himself, Garchomp, or Infernape to also hit the field and start pivoting. So the regen core can struggle to get on the field because Xurkitree prevents them from switching in
yeah, and Xurkitree's
most of the time.
gonna like like switching Rotom Heat in against Xurkitree, it will get worn down.
hmm and you can just get in a pivot core with U-turn Infernape into Volt Switch Xurkitree, and something gets forced to get
His elf
sacked.
too.
So
Like his elf has some
yeah,
great
U-turn.
coverage.
And then there's Kecleon. Kecleon with protein actually can be a nuisance to deal with, so it can start breaking things, and I think it actually does serve a pretty notable role here.
Yeah. It gets two
Yeah,
KOs. One of them on the Gengar, I believe.
yeah, I
Uh,
think it smacks it with like a knockoff or something like that, and then I think it starts drain punching a Kyurem and getting massive amounts of health back.
it's the 125 HP stat or whatever Cure has. It's massive.
Yeah, it's a big HP stat, and then Kecleon's isn't that great. It just has a huge special defense stat,
Yeah.
so it brings
But,
back a lot of HP.
but his elf's able to clean up the match at the end. And I always like
Yep.
seeing people use his elf because I've never had any success with it. Like it's too much of a glass cannon, which is odd because I really like
Yeah.
glass cannons, but I've never gelled with his elf.
I've tried like two or three times, and I've had like maybe one and a half, two good games with it in the 2 or 3 seasons I've had it. So
I always
kudos to
seem,
anyone that gets a lot out of it, because I'm
yeah,
not
I
one of
always
them.
seem to want like it can't break, so it has to sweep in my opinion. But it can
Hmm.
break. I don't know. I'm just too afraid to like do life
Let it
orb
take
with
any
it.
hits.
Yeah, because I can't take any hits. That's the secret. All right, let's take a look at our last match of the week for before our featured match, and it's
Hmm.
the Sunset Soul Rocks, coached by Ty. It's going up against Big Balls Curator, coached by Rock. Let's see what we brought. Over here on Tide's side, we have the Keldeo, Volcanion, Tapu Koko, Fortress, Licky Licky, and Mesprit.
And then on Rock's side, we got the Spectrier, the Rotom Wash, the Mega Diancie, Garbodor, Bronzong, and a Silvally. So Spectrier, is useless as long as it's Licky Licky standing around. There's just nothing for Spectrier to be able to do.
I actually can't
Mega
do
Diancie,
anything.
though. Yeah, it's got nothing. Mega Diancie could pop off if it's a physical one that can push through Licky Licky. Special, I think, kind of gets walled out by Licky Licky as well.
um, there may be some weird. No, it needs too much coverage to do a weird like Diamond Storm, Body Press, Mystical Fire, and Black. Like
Eh,
I think that's tough. But that may
That is tough.
that may be a set. It's Licky Licky's defensive enough that I don't think that works actually. It'd be real close.
Yes.
Or if you can somehow get it, you can get the body press with regular Deontay before you Mega Evolve. That'd be slick. I don't know if it would work. Fortress is pretty free to set up bikes and stuff though,
Yeah, things in front of like Bronzong, Garbodor, certain Sylvales, it can just hazard stack pretty freely.
and it can spin away. That's tough.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then Scarf Keldeo is kind of a menace against this team. Like
yes.
yeah, Rotom wants to come in, but you just flip turn out and you're fine. Tapu Koko gets the like Koko doesn't really care what Rotom's gonna do because you're just like, all right, bye. Take
Exactly.
40% from my Volt Switch. See you later. And Tides takes us 2-0, and it was a Scarf Keldeo in the back that kind of cleaned it up. I think this may have been a ground Slow Valley, but I may be getting my weak. So,
It's possible. Diancie was able to generate some momentum, but not enough.
so like, well done. It was a pretty close match that looked like it could go either way at the end, and then you see Keldeo scarfed, and well, I guess it already decided. So, well done. We're gonna pop over to our featured game. It's between Spirit Union and Robopup. But I gotta This. Yeah. So it's between Spirit
Yeah.
Union and Robopup. I'll introduce Spirit Union's team. We have the Mega Gallade, the Enamoris, the Suian Gudra, Landorus Therian, it's Overquill, and Vaporeon. It took me a second. I was like, big
It's a
Quillfish.
Pokemon.
A big Quillfish.
Big Quillfish is here to play. And then on Robopup side, we've got the Megalopony, the Togekiss, the Swampert, the Necrozma, the Hydreigon, and then the Lycanroc.
Mammoris looks like it can have a good time here. Like, it's
If
hard to switch in, but like, it's never switching in because you need the the Cell Rock guy out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, so Enamorus clicks Moonblast for free. There's zero resists. So every time Enamorus is able to see the field safely in front of like a Hydreigon or a Lopunny, assuming, Scarf Enamorus, then there's not a lot of options. I think it was basically reliant on bulky Togekiss staying healthy enough to be outside of 2 at KO range. Otherwise, Enamorus starts claiming lives.
Yeah, yeah.
Overquill's interesting. I know from, as a slight spoiler, I know Overquill looks like it was intended to check Megalopony, but I think Spirit forgot how Intimidate works against Scrappy and Gen 8 because it no longer drops attack.
Yeah, oopsie.
Yeah, so I think that's a notable thing we're going to come across in this matchup, but I see what he was going for.
That's a nice shot. Alright, so we're gonna start the match.
Yep.
Normal speed. 3,
Let's
2,
do it.
1, go. Alright, we see Lando T going on Mega Lop. Very cool.
Lop retreats.
And
Landorus retreats, which Landorus is a good way to assume Landorus isn't Scarf hit for retreated.
it's just a lot of switching. But I like
Yeah.
I like the Yon Vaporeon. Or sorry, Yon Swampert.
Yes, Jan Swampert's quite effective at being able to create Stealth Rock turns. So here's a early appearance from Enamorus going for Moonblast.
There you
Doesn't
go.
quite get the damage it needs, which is
Life
big because
Orb.
Togekiss
Let's just see if it roosts. Oh, it wishes.
wish.
Even worse. It's Sash. Oh, it's just not enough to KO. Dang.
And you're forced to leave now because the Cell Rock is just too much danger.
Yeah, you're gonna die. Ooh, I like the sub. That's nice.
It is nice.
Um,
You don't usually see Speedy Toxic unless it's Salazzle. So, Speedy Stall, what's the term
I
for
mean,
it?
you
You
see
use it
Zero
before.
Aura do this speed tanking. That's what I
Speed
call it.
tank. There we go. Yeah, I think that's the appropriate way of describing it. So you'll see that primarily with Salazzle, just with its speed and ability. I've seen, like you said, I've seen Zero Aura do it in certain
Yeah,
situations.
Salazzle's the most effective just because yeah, it can hit everything. Oh, I like the Endeavor too. That's nice. What?
It's
That's
interesting here. It just sucks you can't assault like Gallade because it
I know.
resists. So you're not able to
But
get
I
that
like
claim.
the idea.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
All right, now you got the Mega Lop up, so you're not afraid of the Intimidate.
Go for a sub here on the hope that maybe Flip Turn doesn't break, but your Lycanroc and your defense is garbage,
Yeah.
so it does.
Yeah. Ah, good
Excessive.
tech. Yeah. But it's
And
still a
unfortunately,
Necrozma.
Necrozma's ability. Yeah, the ability's helpful. Thunderwave Necrozma, you do like to see it.
And then we got the Gooey.
Pretty great ability you can run fairly freely on your Gudra. There's just not a lot of a need to run Sap Sipper because why would you when you already quad resist?
Yeah.
Here's Overquill that doesn't get the Intimidate damage, but it has the Rocky Helmet, which makes me think it was intended for the Megalopony.
Yeah. Look at all these. Look at these helms, man.
Everyone's got helmets.
All right, now the rocks are up. I think they get a little more scary here. Ah, okay. I mean, just keep clicking rocks
Presumes
here.
that the Landorus switch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
you
you
just
go.
kind of keep rocking out. But Enamorus gets the field safely now, and there's no switch in for it anymore, so it just gets to do Moonblast forces in
So
something speedy
yeah,
like a
Union
Mega
still
Lot.
has 6 Mons here, so like even though with the rocks up, like things are kind of looking good.
Until you
Oh
triple
no, the
axle
triple axle
on a
into the
helmet.
Rocky Helm.
Yeah. And
Oh,
so now
that's
this gets a
rough.
pretty free poison jab or sack here. Lopunny basically loses
KO'd
almost all his
himself,
health.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this gets a free flip turn now because it's got the bulk to do it.
Doing
Um,
Namorous, yeah, something's gonna die here. Oh, or it's
I
Scarf.
think
It's Scarf
I just think
Hydreigon.
he he didn't scarf that, or he didn't check that appropriately. I think that was obviously an unfortunate decision.
Yeah, so now things
Yeah,
and the Lando coming in just tilts instead of the um
yeah, exactly. So this is looking pretty bad for Spirit right now. This is a really good asset spray because now you Draco Meteor for a KO. There's no switch in after the Necrozma can't handle it anymore.
yeah, and you stay in, kill the Lycanroc. Not sure if it's
Why
worth
not?
it, but I guess
Vectors.
if you're gonna get Endeavored anyway. Now Vaporeon.
Yeah,
Oh wait,
Vaporeon
no
is
no no,
just
you can go. Oh, it has a
you
speed drop.
can, you can. I don't know. I think he might have missed the speed drop.
Yeah, I'm gonna cheat. Yeah, oh Necrozma's at 60, so I don't know. I hope you have Toxic. Has he revealed all moves? No, we haven't seen the last one yet.
No, we haven't.
Hoping it's Toxic. Let's see.
Necrozma should be clicking Thunderwave here, in my opinion. I think
Yeah.
statusing is the most effective thing you can do.
Yep, because then you're gonna miss one of these turns eventually.
Because now that you've been toxic, you're on a timer where you could have maybe caught the Vaporeon on a bad paralysis turn and prevented it from wishing. Because now you've done that, which is great, but it slipped turned out of here safely into the Gallade.
And it heals up the Gallade, yeah. And there it
I think
is.
you go for the Swords Dance, absolutely.
Ah,
And you just
right, because of
click
the
X's
speed
or
drop.
yeah.
And Vaporeon's pretty healed up. So you should be okay to.
I mean, if I'm
Well,
him, I protect for. Actually, you don't need to protect for a turn. You just go right for the flip turn.
yeah.
I disagree with the close combat here.
Should
You're
have
probably
returned.
into okay because it's flip turn. That's its only attack, so you don't necessarily even die to Vaporeon flip turning because it's only like a 65 attack stat.
Yeah, you
But
should have. Like the proper play would have been the return and then close
mhm.
combat. Like it's tough because like the return, if he wishes, you lose to that. Like I don't know, but eventually he has to
I
click
mean,
flip turn to win the game.
it may not have mattered. Like I can check a calc here just for
It's gonna be like
curiosity.
40-ish because close combat only did 50.1.
Oh, I'm just
It,
curious if flip turn outright KOs. Like if it always was gonna do
it
enough percentage.
may it may actually. It only needs to do 17.
Um, Actually, so an uninvested flip turn does 18 to 21%. So it likely would have KO'd unless this was a
Okay.
very HP invested Mega Lopunny. So
Uh,
maybe it didn't matter what Lopunny clicked at
yeah.
that point.
All right, never mind. Take everything we said,
Yeah.
throw it out the window. All right, let's take a look here at our standings for initiate. And like I was saying earlier, everything kind of makes sense, except for these differentials. What the heck?
Yeah,
All
the
right,
diffs are all over the place.
so our first 6 are all guaranteed playoffs.
Yep.
Well, with his diff, Pro Shuriken actually isn't. But if he wins, he's in. If he loses,
Yes.
then it may come down to diff.
Yeah, there's a
Rock, if Rock wins
yeah,
and
Pro
Shuriken
loses.
loses, and then Robopup also wins, then that would be it.
Yep. The scenario exists where Pro misses out, but the first 5 are all secure. They're not missing out.
Yeah. Um,
Well, I mean, I guess again, theoretically, Rock could sneak in over Iris if Iris got 6-0'd and Rock 6-0'd but
theoretically.
it's unlikely. It's unlikely that
Yeah,
that is going to transpire.
but everyone 3 wins and below are out. Well, I guess through the same miraculous, everyone 4-4 below could lose. Like RoboPup could lose 6-0, go down to 4, and then Josh could match him.
RoboPup would have to be 6-0, and then Joshua would have to 6-0 back, and that's assuming they played each other and Joshua won. Otherwise, he'd lose the tiebreaker. I don't remember if they played or not.
I don't remember either. So yeah, everyone else is out. But I mean, it's a good shot. It's a good season, and yeah, you can still play spoiler week 9.
There's nothing more exciting than denying someone else the right to go to playoffs.
Sorry,
It's a
Wombat.
very
it's
a
my
very
EDC
good
highlight. All right. Let's take a look at these kill leaders here. Garchomp's at top. Hooray! Followed pretty closely by
Yay.
Urshifu Single Strike. Hydreigon's up there. That's my favorite one to see up there.
Yeah, Hydreigon lasting like it did all season has been really impressive and continuing to pick up KOs pretty reliably week to week.
Yeah. Mega Deontay, Mega Lopunny, whatever. Zeraora, whatever. Nihilego. Yeah, it's like 1 or 2 matches, whatever. Enamorous, that's a fun one to see. And so is the Mega Swampert, because not many people play Rain.
No, and successfully at that. I always criticize rain drafts because they're almost always piloted poorly, and then they do really poorly all season. So good on Iris for being able to have a successful rain season.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's that for Initiate. So pop back over here. Switch over to our recap scene. Perfect. We're gonna pop over to Disciple now. And in Disciple, our very first match of the week is the Chelsea Chestnuts, coached by Waka, going up against the LA Nido Kings, coached by Black117. Let's see what mods they brought. Here on Chelsea's side, we have the Urshifu Single Strike, the Rillaboom, the Mega Deontay, Rotomwash, Slowking Galar, and Audino.
And then on Black's side, we've got the Mega Aerodactyl, the Nidoqueen, the Suicune, the Kartana, the Mew, and then the Hydreigon.
So, looking at this matchup, like, Rotomwash is being asked to do a lot, I feel. Like, it has to stop the Mega Aerodactyl, but if you mess up and, like, you get doubled into Kartana, that's just... This is a great Kartana game. Like, Rillaboom...
Waka's ability to manage Mega Aerodactyl and Kartana is super limited. Like, he maybe has a couple of chances. So if this game drags out and those mons stay healthy, then Waka's in a really tough spot to manage them.
Right, and if something ever happens to, Rillaboom, and it's not a, counter setup Slowking, Suicune starts looking real good. That's tough, because Suicune can pretty reliably live a Wicked Blow from, maybe not 2.
Yeah.
I can do 1. Let's see. And yeah, Black's able to take it, but nothing really paints a picture here. It looks like a Hydreigon cleans things up. This could have even been like a Dragon Dance Hydreigon. No, probably not. Not with the Rillaboom and Urshifu. I just don't see it. Because its steel coverage is better with Flash Cannon for the Mega Deontay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, so yeah, it's just a team effort. Love to see.
You do love to see it.
Okay.
You do love to see it.
Moving on, we have the Tentacruel Pirates, coached by DJS, going up against Adorable Audinos, coached by Frandy.
And I believe that is our match of the week for Disciple.
Let's see. It's over it. It is not.
It is not? Oops.
That's okay. So
nope, I'm stupid.
Here on the Tentacruel Pirates side, we have the Dragapult, the Infernape, Deoxys Defense, Donphan, Mega Blastoise, and Togekiss. Want to introduce Frandy's team?
Yes. And then on Frandy's team, we've got the Chandelure, the Slowbro, the Zapdos, the Superior, the Mega Mawile, and something with an actually valuable speech here in this matchup. We've got the Aselgor.
Final Gambit or bust. They're not gonna switch Dragapult, I swear.
Except that's like the most perfect of switch-ins on
I know, I
Aselgor.
know. It can't. Other than spike stacking, it's like it doesn't. It's like, hey, Pulp,
It
how's it
gets
going?
so it gets knockoff, which I think is actually notable in this
Ah,
kind of
yeah,
matchup.
that's actually really good this matchup. I clicked it for. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So, what happened in this game? I didn't catch this game. I'll be honest.
So
Togekiss ult?
I know Aselgor got a nice knockoff on the Dracopult, but it didn't KO it. It just crippled it pretty badly and weakened it. So I think Dracopult's only kill is like the revenge on Aselgor. And then I think Togekiss just starts getting air slashes in there that are too much trouble to handle. It might Zapdos, I think it's toxic at some point, so Zapdos stops being a safe switch in. And then
Mm,
Deoxys defense does enough pivoting and bulking to just kind of feed back into the Togekiss, and then there's just not a lot of Togekiss answers here.
probably
Once
hard
Zapdos
for.
sub timer.
And with the Chandelure too, it's probably hard to get through the Mega Blastoise if
Hmm.
like yeah, it's got an energy ball, but I don't know. It seems tough.
Exactly.
Well, it's a nice try, but congratulations, DJS.
Yeah, a good turnaround with DJs this season. They had kind of fallen towards the wrong side of playoffs, and then they've done really well in the back half of the season to get themselves into a good playoff position.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Which we'll go over a little bit later on.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, next up we have the St. Louis Shroomish, coached by the Helix Fossil, going up against the Arkham City Delibirds, coached by A12. So let's take a look at what they brought here. On Helix's side, we have the Rotom Mow, Registeel, Nidoking, Mega Gallade, Incineroar, and Tornadus Theory.
And then on A12 side, we've got the Mega Wizard, the Galarian Zapdos, the Gliscor, so triple flying. Oh, hold on, we're not done with flyings yet. There's a Grimmsnarl, there's a Crobat, so 4 flyings, and then we got a Slowking to round it out. It's a Rotom Mow could do a lot in theory, but it's also a Rotom Mow.
Yeah, Mega Zard Wise says, please come out to play. Um, I mean, there's Helix has nothing for Megazard. Like it has Scorching Sands now, so even Incineroar like takes big damage.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think A12
Um,
takes this. Like Zardwai just gets the break.
and you
Um,
have to be super careful with your Incineroar not to proc Defiant on the Galarian Zapdos. So like Incineroar is not as mobile as you'd like it to be, because if it's called on a double, then you're just feeding.
yeah, you want it to be Blaze, and then there's things
Yeah.
like there's ways to cripple the Mega Gallade with Grimmsnarl too.
Hmm.
It's like just extra tough. So let's see. Yeah, A12 takes it, and it's
Galarian Zapdos doing most of the work
and
here.
then Zardwise got 2 KOs because it probably just clicked Flamethrower twice, or Incineroar went down. I was like, all right, cool, that's fine. It's really tough. Like if you don't have a great switch in to Mega Zardwise, not it just kind of wins the game outright. Now we need to see though if in week 9 he'll bring the Belly Drum Mega Zardwise.
That's what we're here for. Flame Charge, Belly Drum, Mega Wizard.
Got Sun, so that Flame Charge does a lot.
There you go. Worth doing.
Alright, up next we have the Columbus Chandelures, coached by HJJ No, going up against the Phoenix Solgaleos, coached by DD12345. Let's see the Mons. We have the Tapu Koko, the Mega Metacham, Crustle, Silvally, Mandibuzz, and Excadrill.
And then on DD's side, we got the Mega Lopunny, the Seismitoad, the Kyurem, the Clefable, the Melmetal, and the Rapidash.
There we go. Alright, let's take a look. So oh man. I like Coco a lot this match.
I mean, Seismitoad is not a Coco answer. You get one switch in, maybe, but if you're called with a grass knot on the switch in, then you're not an answer
Yeah,
anymore,
you're in
and then
big
that's it.
trouble.
So there's a
Lopunny is
lot of
faster,
pressure.
but you can
Yes.
probably roost through a lot of that damage.
Yeah, a lot, but he doesn't have an easy time.
Kyurem can get set up, but like the it's a tough matchup. You can always have to worry about Scarf Excadrill too, but
Hmm.
I think it's pretty tough. I think HJJ has the easier game to play with the pivots, but on the other hand, like Russell, your Mega Lopunny answer, kinda.
It's an okay lead if you're just trying to like set rocks and then not put extra drill in that role. And I think that's what he does here. But Crustl's just a surprising-ish bring
Good Rock Blast.
because I mean that's
You
maybe
may
your
not you may not
way
get
of
that many, but
yeah.
let's see what happened. Hey, look at HJJ is able to take it. 2 kills for the Metachan or the Mandibuzz. Augers.
I think
Um,
there could have been a nicely timed. I may have foul played a Rapidash at one point and like obliterated that, and then it might have
oh,
just picked up a easy weak KO on like a U-turn or a foul play on something else.
alright, that's fair enough. I respect that play. And then, yeah, Mega Metachan just has enough speed. It can get through the Kyurem pretty. Zen Headbutt's gonna slap Clefable around. That's the other thing. Zen Headbutt just demolishes everything here, except for Melmetal, who conveniently probably
Yeah.
struggles to break through even Dream. That's like not gonna. Maybe Bandit Double Iron Bash over 1-hit KO. You're not that
Yeah.
set, then will do. It's a situation where minus 40%, plus 99%. It's just like Dream Punch can
Rapidash.
do. Go ahead.
I like Rapidash here, just as like a fun way of actually, Rapidash is kind of a fun X control answer if you have like a air balloon or something, just as trying to keep that in check.
Yeah,
But
I think that's pretty fair. But okay, so all right, we're gonna move on to our next match. Here we have the Tennessee Type Knolls, coached by Zeke, going up against the Moody Marshadow, coached by Bloop. I can tell you one of the Mons on Zeke's side already, Hisuian Zoroark. Hey, look, there
there it
he
is.
is. So we have the Melodic, the Landorus Therian, the Hisuian Zoroark, Florgist, Zeraora, and Scissor.
And then on the Bloop side, we've got the Gothitelle, the Skarmory, the Zygarde, the Vikavolt, the Feeny, and the Piloswine. So Gothitelle's a fun one here if you can get like the Florges or something trapped to set up on.
Yeah. Pardon me. I like the Vikavolt here a lot too.
Vigavolt's fun. It doesn't, Scissor doesn't have an easy time with it. Zero Aura has to basically have Blaze Kick or it has nothing for it. Milotic can only really Toxic it. Landorus has to be running Stone Edge, which it doesn't necessarily want to run against most of the team members here, and
Yeah.
largely just wants to click U-turn because if it clicks Stone Edge and it's choice locked in Stone Edge, then Gothitelle just revenge sets up on it every time and PP stalls it.
Or
So it's a
Zygarde gets
really
a free D-Dance. Skarmory can set
yeah
whatever it wants off of Stone Edge, so
yeah
it's
Stone Edge
tough.
is a
It's
very
really
dangerous
tough.
move to be running here.
Um, I think this is a hard game for Zeke to play. 'Cause I don't really
Yeah.
see anything that forces stuff in other than like Zeraora is gonna force in Zygarde.
So
Um,
Zero Aura does get to button click here, which is nice for Zero Aura, and it's their fastest thing on the field if it hits the field because most of the mons on Bloop's side aren't going to be scarfed. So if webs aren't down, then Shadow Ball, especially Specs or something like that, is actually mega damage.
yeah. So let's see what happens. 4 kills for Zygarde, so it gets in at a point where it can probably set up maybe after the Milo's too weak.
Hmm.
Um, and then, but Zoroark has 3 KOs, so I think
And
Zeke probably views this as a victory.
as it's gonna say, I think Zeke is quite content with the outcome of this match, primarily because his Zoroark got to pad its stats a little bit more, and probably get itself near the top of the leaderboard yet again.
I mean, we'll see. We will see. So good job to Bloop. Okay. Next, we have the Sacramento Kangaroos, coached by Orrin Latios, going up against the Dallas High Horsepower, coached by Shark Finnegan. Let's check out the Mons. We have the Terrakian, Garchomp, Corviknight, Tangrowth, Alolan Muck, and Volcanion.
And then on Shark side, we got the Whimsicott, the Ursaluna, the Latias, the Raikou, the Celesteela, and the Manaphy. So this is actually two games this week where the Ursaluna has to break like something in the Tangela line, which is probably one of the hardest things for Ursaluna to push through.
Yeah, this is rough. But good news is, I mean, I don't, yeah, that's just too rough to break. I think it's a good chance Orrin's gonna take this. If it's an AV, Latias isn't gonna break it. Raikou isn't gonna break it. Maybe Celesteela is the answer to breaking it.
So Latias like just gets pulverized by a Alolan Muck because it gets pursuit trapped. I think the last time I had a Latias against a Alolan Muck, I ran Reflect type so that I could avoid getting obliterated
That was
by
a
pursuit.
Mega Latias, though, wasn't it?
It was the Mega Latias, but on principle, it's the same concept I think here for Shark, where you can't Latias can't hit the field at any point in time because Alolan Muck comes in for free and it always pursuit traps afterwards.
Yeah.
Once you baton pass.
Which you can do.
You can't do. It's
Not
tough,
sure it's
but you can do
good,
them.
but you can do it.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see what happens. Yeah, Orange just able to take it. Muck gets a couple kills, Volcanion.
Nothing for Tangrowth, a little disappointed there.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? So
that clean win.
Yeah, it's a nice clean win. I feel for my boy Shark. He's just had a bit of a slump recently.
Yeah, and he didn't have pieces to really break through this defense. Ursaluna has kind of a trouble clicking anything with a Corviknight and a Tangrowth there. Raikou and Latias don't really pop off. Celesteela's got a lot of pressure to be the piece that pops off, but it can't always. So just really tough for Shark to get on offense effectively here.
I think so too. Alright. Last is our featured match between Liger and Dashing. So we're going to pop over to that, actually.
I like this.
We're going to switch to our battle screen.
This is, of course, XPDLA champion Liger we were talking about.
Oh, yeah. Newly minted XPDLA champion. So, Liger's side, he brings the Landorus Incarnate. This is Mega Scissor, Primarina, Rotom Fan, Miltank. They keep in our prep server. They keep calling Miltank Milkers, and I'm like, oh my god, guys, stop!
Oh god, oh Jesus!
I showed my distaste once, and I think that's the end of it. It's always going to be Milkers now.
Yeah, you made a mistake by having an opinion about it.
Yeah, and then Drapion.
And then on Dashing side, we've got the Enamorus, the Tyranitar, the Garchomp, the Victini, the Aegislash, and then the Serena.
Alright, we're gonna just pop into this, because, I don't know. I'll give some initial thoughts. Let's see. Don't get caught by Mystical Fire, and Scissor, can hold off the Enamorus pretty well. Get caught by the Mystical Fire, and you're gonna die.
Drapion's a pretty interesting mon here, especially like AV or maybe just kind of bulky. Puts a lot of pressure on Serena, not Serena. Well, yeah, Serena too. Pressures Serena, pressures Aegislash, pressures Victini, pressures Enamorus, and there's not really a safe switch in, and then there's plenty of Toxic Spike opportunities.
Yeah,
so
it's a nice match to get some Toxic Spikes up, just looking at the mons here. If anything, it'll tell you, like, coming in, is it heavy duty boots or not, which could be really nice to know for the Serena and the Victini in particular. So let's get into this. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, yeah, we see the leads here. U-turn, yeah, U-turn's a good move. You don't know if it's Shuka. Nah, it's probably minus attack nature. But, But yeah, it's for the best, because you don't want to get hit with the berry and then die to that ice beam. It's too early in the match.
No, so good pivoting out early on that. Chop kick is actually pretty interesting to see from Serena.
And a power whip, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
bringing the Primarina in was a interesting choice anyway, but what are you gonna do? All right. So now you're feeling pretty good. See the blue
Yeah. Kind of
flare,
what you're looking for.
great. And now the choice scarf's gone. You feel so good about that, and it's only at 11%.
And it has nothing really to break a thick fat milk tank or whatever that ability is. Yeah, thick fat. So milk tank kind of walls it out. A little unfortunate with the burn, but not the end of the world, especially if you put rocks up here because now Victini has no safe entry.
Cannot
Victini
come
can't
in.
hit the field. Um, and then you got
Ooh,
to deal with this. So important toxic here by Liger to put it on a timer, just because
yeah.
Miltank's not going to be able to really break this, but
If it's
it can
up
shut
there
it
though, I
down.
think the game's kind of over.
Yeah, almost certainly. That's always the scary thing about Garchomp, whether it's Mega or Standard, is that it can sometimes be just one good situation from winning. Liger goes for the double here to try to bait out
You could have
a
just,
Earthquake.
yeah, could have just started with the Rotom though.
I think in his situation, if you're trying to stall, you go in Primarina because Primarina forces you
Oh right.
to.
So then it's a no. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Then it's another turn of toxic damage and could just have happened for free.
Yeah,
So no, you're
yeah. So
absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
but he gets it done in the end. We get Garchomp off the field, and it doesn't cost him too much. Miltank was already crippled and did its rocks, which is really what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Rotom Fan wasn't super important to this matchup based off what showed up.
So Primarina is able to get a kill with the Moonblast. So there's no more sand, which is nice.
Serena comes in. Drapion's an interesting switch in here on Serena, where Mega Scizor I think is just a safer switch in altogether.
Especially when you know a rapid spin's probably on the way. But this may be Scarf Drapion because it just
No, it's
outsped.
healing.
Oh right, it
It's
just
just no speed Serena and then speedy Drapion.
Bullet Punch is able to take it down. But yeah,
Enamorous.
gotta watch out for the
You don't
mystical
want to take a hit from
fire.
that.
But super free, so now yeah, the Moonblast.
Really big turn with Landers here. You either Sludge Wave or Earth Power.
It's just
I
a
think
true
it's actually
50-50.
Scarf.
It is Scarf because it outsped the Enamorous.
That's true.
Yeah, you
And
can
then knock off
knock off.
here is just gonna
But
take care of business.
Earth Power would have taken care of it too. So
Yeah, you're in a good spot.
yeah, I mean it was just that last 50-50 because of the Scarf. I mean if it switch into
Yep.
Aegislash there, there's a good chance you win the game.
Yep.
Aegislash isn't gonna die to you have to switch in the Scissor. But I mean
Exactly.
there's still chances to misplay it depending on what that is for Aegislash. It is a bit harder. But
Exactly.
so well done for Liger. There was a moment there where that Mega Garchomp I thought was really going to take it, but it didn't. Okay, so we're gonna pop over to our standings.
Let's do it.
So, all right, right off the bat, I'm pretty sure all of our 5-win teams are secure. I guess in
I
theory
believe
they're
so.
not. Like Zeke could win 6-0 and that yeah, I guess only DJS is secure. That's sick.
Yeah, DGS has the differential to not fall below -6, which is just enough here because Wacom Zero can only get to +5. So DJS is secured for playoffs. I think Liger can feel in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, he
As long
just
as he
needs to
doesn't.
not lose by like a 6-0.
Yeah, he should be fine at that point. Frandy and Orn are also in solid spots. Dashing is definitely in a spot
You're
where
winning in.
he,
You're winning in.
yeah,
Well,
um,
you may have to win big if you win by 1 and then like Waka comes in and wins by like 5, then you're in trouble. So like yeah, you need to
exactly.
just have a nice solid 3-0. That's all you need. Then you can
Nothing
keep
crazy.
Waka and Zeke out. But yeah, everyone who's 3 wins and below, it's looking pretty impossible. I guess for DD, not all the way. It depends. Like if Dashing Waka and Zeke all shit the bed, and you do really well,
hmm
could sneak in. It's gonna be hard, but it's
There's an
technically
avenue.
possible.
It's a very
Yeah,
narrow avenue, but it is
but
there, and crazier things have happened.
yeah, Helix. The path is the same path is still there, but it's also even harder. And this is without taking into account who our week 9 matchups are, which I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm looking at some of them, so as far as being technically possible, everything we're talking about is technically possible. There's no situation where it makes it impossible right now, but the probability of 3 matches going really strongly in the way they need to go is obviously pretty low.
Yeah.
They are not in control of their destiny. They can only do so much here, and then a lot falls on other matches they have no control
Yeah,
over.
you just gotta win. and
Yeah.
see what happens. But let's take a look at the top 10 KO leaders. Scizor
Yep.
and Hisui and Zoroark at top, with Scizor just edging it out on less deaths. Have Dragapult, Mega Chomp, Mega Medicham. Hydreigon's also up here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's interesting to see it doing well in 2 leagues.
Yeah, most surprisingly is the Chandelure, but Randy's been kind of force feeding a lot of KOs to it, so it's gonna collect them. And by force feeding, I mean just being in the game and collecting KOs. I don't think Randy's going out of his way to actually force feed KOs. It's just been in good positions,
As far as we know.
As far as we know, that's right. That's right. So an exciting last week for a lot of people here in the middle. Probably the most exciting league as in terms of playoff implications go. But yeah, we're gonna pop back now to our recaps, and we're going to move ahead into Larry division.
Yeah, the trash division.
That's not the match we start with. So coming up first, we have the Slippery Superiors, coached by GDP, going up against the Miami Delphox, coached by Fac Luigi. So let's see what was brought. GDP brought the Urshifu Single Strike, Mega Blastoise, Delphox, Slowking Galar, Doug Trio, and Clefable.
And then on Fac's side, we've got the Dragapult, the Sylveon, the Landorus, the Drapion, the Melmetal, and the Pidgeot.
It's a Mega
Some
Pidgeot
careful work,
too.
Mega Pidgeot, yeah. So some careful work by Fac here to not be pressured by Arena Trap Doug Trio, because you've got a pretty defensively bulky mon like Melmetal that doesn't care. Landorus, who doesn't care, can't really be bothered by it. Dragapult's a ghost type, so I don't think ghost types get trapped.
They do not.
Pidgeot outspeeds, and then Sylveon can be bulky enough to not care. So Doug Trio is always one of those mons that can really derail a match because it can just revenge kill on a trap, and Fac's not very vulnerable to that.
There was a bit of spice this match, though. Did you see it?
I watched the match. I can't remember what the spice was.
So Delphox was Calm Mind.
Oh, that's right.
And then with Magician. Right. So Delphox is able to steal an item. It was a case where it was Flamethrower instead of Fire Blast, and if it was Fire Blast, it likely picks up the KO on Lando.
And that might be enough to win the game.
Yeah. Instead, or at least keep it really interesting.
Yeah.
Instead, Delphox goes down, but it was a really interesting tech the CGDP bring. And from there, I think it's just a slow grind. Melmetal puts in a ton of work because it just switched in on the Clefable for free because Clefable didn't have any fire moves.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was running a subset, so it just click sub on Clef, and if you've got, it's Mega Blastoise, so Thunder Punch is gonna do 40%, and can't heal it.
Yep.
And yeah, look at that, 5 KOs for Melmetal.
Melmetal is just a button clicker. There's really not a lot to answer that. So I think he's done quite good work with Melmetal. Melmetal's not too different than Mega Mawile, where you can pretty much count on it to maybe get you a kill or 2 in a match. Pretty reliably is going to pick up 1 or 2 kills, but it doesn't usually take off for 5 like this. So obviously a really good game for Melmetal.
Yeah, big fan of the Melmetal.
Big fan.
All right, next is your match. This is between the Canberra Charizards, coached by Sammy C, and the Potown Poikemukus, coached by our very own P McGee's. So let's take a look at the Mons. I'll introduce Sammy's team.
Yep.
We have the Mega Lopunny, Heatran, Zapdos, Nidoqueen, Greninja, and Dhelmise.
And then I brought a Landorus, a Cinderace, the Mega Mawile, the Umbreon, the Slowbro, and the Como. So this was a pretty decent matchup for me. I didn't expect the Delmise to come, and so I didn't really pack great answers for that on some of my mons, especially the Landorus.
Oh
And
yeah, if you don't, oh man, even then,
because I offer physical Landorus here just so that I can go for the double dance sweep if I feel there's an opportunity for it, where maybe something like Zapdos is
yeah,
on the
this is
field and I can.
hard.
But it's a tough spot I'm trying to get through here. The good news for me though is he also doesn't pack a lot of answers for Umbreon. He's pretty reliant on
Body
Delmise
press,
and
Delmise.
then Mega Lopunny. And if I can, and Mega Lopunny doesn't have an easy time with Slowbro around. So if I can get Mega Lopunny chipped down enough to be dealt with, then Umbreon actually turns into a defensive menace. Because Zapdos can't Toxic it, because Zapdos gets status back and I have Heal Bell, so tough match.
All right, so let's see what happened. It was a 2-0 for Sammy. So
Yeah. So it was a little bit of an RNG heavy game. We both caught some favorable RNG at different points. And then in the end of the match, I'm actually in a winning position where Umbreon's against a Heatran and a very low HP Greninja. And I can just foul play this to victory and Moonlight in between turns. And then I get caught by a Fire Blast crit,
oh
which
no,
KO'd my Umbreon.
oh
Yeah, I
no.
mean, it's fine. I caught a really big break with a Dhelmise missing a Poltergeist at one point in the match. I did lose my Cinderace to a Hurricane crit on a Spec Zapdos. It was a favorable roll for him to always KO even without the crit, but then
But
the crit
it
obviously
feels
sealed.
it feels like
It's a
insult to
tilting.
injury. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a very tilting Hurricane because Hurricane never hits when you use it, always hits you, and then to crit on
yeah.
top of it
Ah,
is the real feels bad.
for being honest, you would have been confused and hit yourself if you survived on like 7%.
This is
So,
true.
so you got that
This is
going for
true.
you. So well done, Sammy. Sammy's been having a heck of a season. So
Oh, absolutely. Good on him.
let's take a look at our next match. This is the between South Bend Snums, coached by Wombat, going up against Sparky, and the first from down under it. On Wombat's side, we have the Tornado Therian, Keldeo, Ursaluna, Electricity, Mega Altaria, and Jirachi.
And then on Sparky's side, we've got the Sneasler, the Regieleki, the Zoroark, the Primarina, the Corviknight, and the Palossand.
So if Mega Altaria gets a D-Dance up here, it's all up to Corv, right? Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't know. You can probably still run Fire Blast in the back to get rid. No, you want Flamethrower. If you mess something up, Corviknight can pressure stall out those Fire Blasts. I feel he's. I don't know. It's
It
spooky.
has,
Spooky.
yeah, Corviknight, special defensive Corviknight can pretty tough to break through with fire moves just because you run out of PP super quickly, and so you just keep roosting through those.
Um.
Um, Toxtricity doesn't have a good answer for Palossand, like really doesn't have an easy answer. I think it's got Snarl as its best option, but that's not necessarily smacking Palossand for too much damage.
Yeah. No switchings for Ursaluna. Like Palisand, kinda, but
I mean, so
I don't get
it has
smacked.
so Ursaluna's one of those that you just win on predicts as best you can because Palossand resists one or is immune to one stab, Corviknight's immune to the other stab and resists the other stab. So Ursaluna's best way for Corviknight is clicking Thunder Punch, which Palossand's also immune to. So it's just a guessing game with Sparky, where if he guesses well enough, he can start getting Flame Orb turns to kind of whittle it down 6% at a time, if he needs
But
to.
Palisand also needs to stay super healthy for Toxtricity.
This is very true.
So it's
So a
tough.
lot of pieces trying to stay healthy.
I like Wombat's chances here. Yeah, Wombat takes a 2-0 off Keldeo, of all things. Probably just
I
flip
mean,
turns to
basically,
victory.
yeah. Once Primarina goes down, Primarina is really the only thing stopping Keldeo from clicking moves freely. So I think that's probably what happens here. Primarina goes down early to something, just getting enough chip on it or a misplay or two. And then once Primarina's out of play, Keldeo is just showing up. Or this maybe was Specs Keldeo and Primarina just have the bulk to handle Hydro Pump Specs.
Could have been like a few of those, like 3 of them, and that's GG.
Yeah.
So well done, Wombat. a pretty clutch win, I think, to secure them playoffs. But we'll see when we look at the standings.
Yep.
All right, next is our featured match between Phil and Claude9. So we'll circle back to this for y'all.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Next we have the West Virginia Wingulls, coached by Fancify, going up against the Dick and Balls, coached by Frost Eye. Still makes me laugh.
Always enjoy that.
Is that you or me clicked in the middle?
Probably me. 1 second. Yep, me. Let me sort that out.
All right, there we go. It looks better.
Whoopsie-daisy.
Nah, it's all good. Let's see what the Mons brought are. So on Fancify's side, we have the Mega Swampert, the Mew, or Thunderous Therian, Amistar, Pelipper, and Toxicroak.
And then on Frost Eye's side, we've got the Silvally, the Mega Garchomp, the Deoxys Speed, the Obstagoon, the Suicune, and the Kartana.
You know, if it's not raining, Kartana feels pretty good.
Yeah, the Leaf Blade answers aren't really answers.
Toxicroak?
Mew can't. Toxicroak is not doing well with that. Mew, depending on the Mew set, like they may not be a good answer to Leaf Blade, especially if you get caught by the crit. Thundurus doesn't have the bulk either, so Leaf Blade is super spammable here and can really start destroying things on a crit or two. Which is 1 in 8 attempts because Leaf Blade's a high crit move.
But you know, like in the rain though, nothing's really gonna stop Mega Swampert.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing.
You're basically trying really hard with Suicune to stay healthy, but you don't have a flying type, so Swampert just gets to click Earthquake freely as well if it expects Suicune to come onto the field. So really tough.
But don't matter because Kartana is able to take it 6-0. You get one KO and you know things really just kind of start rolling and not much you can do. Oof, scary.
No. Not at all. And Scarf Kartana may outspeed things in the rain, depending on their investment. Although, I think Swampert could technically get faster.
Yeah, Swampert can get faster. I don't know about Amistar. It's in a weird speed tier. It's like 70 exactly.
I'm curious.
Maybe higher. 70 is where my brain places it.
It's a Swampert's a 70 for sure. The Amistar's only a 55.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Scarf Kartana.
Scarf Kartana is indeed faster, so
very cool.
Yeah, so that would easily do the trick on something like a Omastar, which you don't see a lot of, but they can be potent in the right situation.
Surprise! Here we are. But well done. All right, let's spoilers off. Next we have Flight Club, coached by Cats, going up against the Alberta Surge, coached by Huiku. What we brought here on Cat's side, we have the Sandaconda, which is getting a fair amount of play. Brought it quite a few times. I like it. The Aegislash.
Manu took it 0 times, but she's brought it at least twice.
Raikou, Ninshao, Hydreigon, and Vaporeon.
And then on Huiku's side, we've got the Rotom Wash, the Mega Audino, the Galarian Zapdos, the Tapu Koko, the Nidoking, and the Bronzong.
So, this like looks pretty clear, like 1-to-1, like what's supposed to stop what, but eventually, I think we find out. I'm just gonna reveal. I think we found out in the post-game chat that like Mega Audino had no attacking moves. Or something like that, so I don't know what weird utility set this was, but this didn't go so well. But we can take a look. We see Aegislash is really the one to kind of break open the team. Zapdos tries to put up a fight, but it just isn't enough in the end.
I mean, because if we're talking like Specs, IG Slash or something like that, I can't remember if it was like Specs or something like that, but there's no switch into both of its stabs, so if you predict wrong in Huiku's spot, then something like IG Slash just starts destroying with like Flash Cannon, Shadow Ball.
Yeah, it's too hard to deal with. And you know, Mindshaw's always waiting in the wings too to help clean up, like with some Scarf
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely.
So it's just really tough. Probably Huiku got off to the back foot a little too early and really hard to recover. Alright, let's see. Last and certainly, probably least, It's the Columbus Glade, coached by myself, going up against the New Jersey Origin, coached by K King. See the Mons that came to party. We have here on my side the Mega Glade, Rotom Heat, Gliscor, Alolan Muck, Melodic, and Ruddigon.
And then on K King's side, we've got the Urshifu Rapid Strike, the Dragalge, the Latios, the Donphan, the Zeraora, and the Togekiss. Speaking from very recent experience with Zeraora against the Gliscor, this is a really hard matchup for Zeraora to do anything productive because Gliscor so hard walls anything Zeraora's got.
The one caveat, and this is only for you to get some counterplay, you need to have the Toxic Orb procced before you just switch in willy-nilly on the Zeraora.
Yes. So you need to be a little careful about getting that activated early. Zeraora isn't a bad lead in some of these matchups because you can't.
I led Gliscor just so I could potentially protect.
Yep.
But he counter-led Urshifu Rapid Strike. So I was like, dang.
Can't do much there.
No. But, I've got Druddigon and Melodic, so like I'm not too afraid. And it was nice because I found out right away that he was pads Urshifu, so I was like, okay, Mega Glade is always going to outspeed. Let's just play the game, see what happens.
Exactly.
It was a setup Rotom Heat, but I think the key thing was Muck was able to trap Latios, and even though it didn't get the KO, you can probably tell how fucking. So let's just feel it. It doesn't get the KO, but it leaves it with like 8%, and then rocks go up, so there's nothing you can do at this point. But yeah.
Was there a notable triple axle or something from the Glade in this matchup? I can't remember if there was a turn that you got.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Zen headbutt hitting.
Maybe that was it.
The 95 accuracy move hits. Hooray!
I think when it came down to too, when you when you find out Urshifu wasn't Scarf, it was just about getting Urshifu to a spot where close combat did enough to KO it as a confirmed late game. Yeah, because
the Dragalge goes down pretty easily. I mean, Zen Headbutt murders it, man.
Oh, absolutely. If it's not the Psychic Berry, I think it's the Pyapa Berry or whatever it's called, then yeah, it's obliterated.
And you got to keep Gliscor healthy enough that like Zeraora play rough, you're never in range of that.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a balancing act, and the Latios just went down a little bit too early before it could break anything. Like, it was the AV Muck, and even though it eventually gets tricked away by the Togekiss, Latios is dead, so so is Dragalge, so it's like, I don't. We're looking at Donphan or Shifu and Zeraora. You can keep the AV. It's not for me.
Yep.
And even then, like, Togekiss doesn't want the AV. Not when it's running utility stuff.
No, because then it loses all utility and it's down to like 1 or 2 moves.
And so that's that. We're gonna move on to our featured game for the week. Again, this is between Claude9 and Phil. So here on, I'll let you introduce Claude. So here on Phil's side, we have the Tapu Lele, the Arcanine, Politoed, Kabutops, Overquill, and Celesteela.
You got a chance to correct it for his second appearance of the week. It was weird seeing Overquill twice.
Yeah.
And then on Claude's side, we've got the Rotom Fan, the Garchomp, the Tapu Fini, the Spectrier, the Scizor Mega, maybe something here is Mega. I don't know if it's a Scizor or the Garchomp.
It's Mega.
I think it's a Mega Scizor, and then the Weezing, which is actually a pretty solid check for Kabutops.
Yeah, I like it. All right, let's just get into it. 3, 2, 1, go. So, Rotom Fan, good lead.
Best possible lead. There's no ground type in this matchup, so Rotom Fan just does what it wants in turn 1.
Do we got a nasty plot here?
I think it has to go straight for discharges or
Yeah.
Thunderbolts. That's fine too.
Yeah, I dig it.
Scizzor's super free on Lele, although it's really smart to bring the Nature's Madness. Taunt, great call, so it can't roost.
Get you another
U-turn here. Into the Rotom Fan. Rotom Fan here gets a super free Thunderbolt. There's no switch ins to that.
Thunder.
Thunder would be the real play to see, but a substitute is also not a bad call because there's really nothing
Yeah,
for the
here's the nasty
Celesteela
plot.
to do here.
Okay,
Flare
and
Blitz
you
and
see you're
Rain.
faster. You see you're faster.
So this Thunderbolt's about to hurt hard.
Oh,
No answer
and
to
the
that.
Paraproc. That's gonna feel nice later on.
If I'm Claude here, I maybe stay in on the Psychic because
just
you
to KO
know
the
it.
Lele. Yeah, there he does.
Yeah,
That was
Lele
a
out of
good
play.
call. Yeah.
Overquill comes in, which you outspeed, but I don't know. I guess it's not a bad switch in for Scizor. Scizor gets a free roost here. I would just stay in and do.
Yeah, you're at 2%, but I think he keeps it alive looking at the Celesteela, and he doesn't have any real great answers to hit it. Otherwise.
No, and that's fair.
At least that would be my thought, because you're not the Overquill's most likely not dying.
No.
So.
Perish Trap Polytoad. I like to see that.
More people need to run this version of Polytoad.
It's the winning version. Rest here, but he forgot it's terrain, so he can't sleep.
It's not gonna work. He's gonna die before the Perish song. That's really funny, actually.
Yeah, it's one turn too early, so now you're gonna let Feeney be able to get out of here. Rather than
you were gonna die from that Moonblast though, so.
Yeah. No, I mean you're forced to play. That's what I'm saying. It's unfortunate that the rest tech there doesn't work. Weezing carries Thunderbolt. I'm actually surprised Weezing carries not just doesn't just run straight Thunder, but Thunderbolt's pretty effective too.
I mean, if it was straight Thunder, it kills the Kabutops there.
Yeah, it's worth noting. Kabutops is low, but not too low. Mega Scizor comes in. Pretty free U-turn if you ask me. Into the Rotom
it's a good U-turn.
I think you probably are forced to sack like Arcanine here.
Or you keep staying with the Celesteela and.
Club's looking overall in a pretty good spot right now, though, just based off the positioning. Although the only answer to this is Overquill, and Overquill is not the best of answers. Taking 37%.
But we got the late game spikes.
Sometimes that's just effective enough, the late game spikes, to really put the pressure on. Feeney's gonna come in here to basically force in the Celesteela, I believe.
Yeah, so you're gonna get a chance here to run the Leech Seed, but the Iron Defense, Cloud's gonna be able to set up and
yeah,
okay.
If you can get strong enough, quick enough to push through the Celesteela, because it's getting a lot of health back. Now here comes the Overquill. Eats probably too much damage from that Surf, because that's your Spectrier answer. Like, that's the mon you need to be able to handle.
Feeney's low. Yeah, I was wondering if you just protect here.
Really good turn to protect.
And now it dies to the count.
Goes for the double protect. I respect that.
Now's a chance to. Oh, he didn't go for the heavy slam. Okay.
No, he doesn't outspeed, so he's just going for protect stall here, but Feeney's still got one more turn of life, so you basically needed the double protect here. He goes for the Arcanine sack, actually, which, looking at the situation left, isn't the worst call. If I'm Claude, I go in here with... Actually, this doesn't even help him, because Feeney's going to Calm Mind again. Still going to live one more Leech Seed, so still going to be able to get a Surf in here. 49%. Heavy Slam is actually really big because you get a nice defensive boost. Basically forces Spectrier in. You go for a Protect here maybe.
Yeah, just to get any little bit of HP.
And then you go for a Leech Seed, I think.
Yeah, you go for a Leech Seed. Protect and...
Keep repeating the cycle, because now Garchomp's going to come in, but Garchomp doesn't scare you as much.
That's a good call, just to go for the Leech Seed.
Yeah, I mean, it seems so obvious you click Protect there, and then now your health's really getting into a pretty good spot. You can Heavy Slam, kind of, because you're not super bothered by the Rough Skin.
And so he dies to Heavy Slam here, but no, it's a good Protect to just get that extra little bit of HP for the Rough Skin, so you don't get 2-hit KO'd by Horse.
Absolutely.
This is
Claude. I don't know what the last move is here.
This is Claude just kind of admitting, oh, I don't have Fire Fang.
No Flamethrower, no Fire Fang, nothing really situational.
But Celesteela's last move's Flamethrower. But I mean,
Scissor
Scissor
doesn't
can't
really
touch
have anything.
Celesteela.
No, and so Scissor's in a bad spot because I actually lead seed here if I'm in this situation because Scissor has nothing.
Yep. Let's see.
Yeah, here we
just
go.
Continue.
To keep that health back. There's just not really any plays left.
Spike, yeah. I'd just kind of let this one float away.
Yeah, so you're basically hoping you're needing the Shadow Ball to get a Spit F drop here. If you don't get the Spit F drop, you don't have the game. Because now you click Heavy Sand for free because there's no danger in it.
Or he's just playing the...
Yeah.
Don't, if
and you can lead seed here. Yeah, good defog, you're kind of forced to. But now you click Flamethrower because there's no danger.
Yeah, I guess. Like, you should be clicking that.
Because Flamethrower will do enough to leech. Yeah, I know he's afraid of the U-turn into Spectrier, but it's in such a good spot.
Yeah, like you can Heavy Slam here. Do you care?
Yeah.
The Snarl.
I think the hope is to get the Flamethrower damage low enough where you could PP stall with Scizor to win out. But
there's just not enough roosts. Like, there's 12.
No.
And there's 21 Flamethrowers left, and it's still doing 42. So what's the Leech Seed? That's 50%.
Yeah, it's over. There's just not enough PP to work with, and Flamethrowers got good PP.
You'll run out of roosts before instead of Flamethrowers. Exactly.
You'll eventually get a burn, statistically.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put it on Hyperblast because like this is the end. Eventually, Claude can decide to not click Roost and just end it, but or I mean, you're free to you're in match. You're free to let this go on as long as you want.
Yeah. Stall it out. Get that turn count high.
Yeah.
Get them stats. Maybe it's a stat related stall.
Yeah, who knows?
What's a higher turn count? Who's to say? But this is definitely Phil's game one. There's just nothing for Claude to do about it. And
so really well done for Phil to kind of bring it back. Like, it was basically Celesteela against the world.
And Celesteela does what he does sometimes, which is just Leech Seed stall out to victory, because Steel types having access to Leech Seed is kind of gross because you can't Toxic stall them.
Yeah, so dumb. Alright, let's take a look here. This is our Week 8 standings list. Top 6 are actually all guaranteed.
Yep. The only spot up for grabs is the 7th seed.
And that is actually only between 2 teams. Public City Fireforts and the Potown Puikamukus, because they play each other head to head. So
we get
all of our
Week 9 showdown.
Our 2 other 3-win teams, me and Phil, we are eliminated.
Unless Claude and I double forfeit, then there's an avenue, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think so either. You guys have already scheduled, I'm sure.
We play tomorrow, so that'll be for the final spot in playoffs. As long as I win 1-0 or greater, I get the spot. As long as Claude wins by any differential, including a 0-0 win, he makes playoffs. So it's basically winner goes to playoffs. Yeah, basically. There's a tiny little avenue where I can win 0-0 and miss out on playoffs. That's the only situation that can occur. I think. No, never mind. Claude lost. He's 3-5, so never mind. I'm wrong about that too. Straight up winning make playoffs, because I go to 4-5. Claude would fall to 3-6.
So one fun thing, looking at the kill leader here, the top 2 are both Miami Delphox with the same exact stats.
Interesting.
5 KOs in a week will do that. But we're so boring. Agislash is maybe the most interesting mon to live up in the top 10.
I mean, Raikou doesn't know. Raiku's like a good 8 kills a season kind of mon, so he's a little overperforming in this one right now.
I can dig it with Raikou. And they're both cats mon, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's kind of actually, we have 3 pairings here where Fax got 2 back-to-back. Claude's got 2 back-to-back, which is shocking considering he's 3-5. So he's literally living off of 2 mons, as we talked about previously.
And then
Cats has 2 back-to-back.
Wow. You have two back to back, 14 and 15.
Yeah, they're not too high, which are my two good mons, and they've got not much to show.
Yeah. Um. Well, that's that. That's your playoff standings. I'm gonna go ahead and lock this
Oh,
out.
Geo,
So,
it's worth noting, Geo, you were technically alive for playoffs. It's like a 0.1% chance, but you are alive. If I win 0-0 and you win 6-0, you get the final playoff spot.
ugh,
So
no.
there is a very, very specific scenario here where you could
I
still
mean,
make it.
we've Wombat and I have already agreed to do a meme match. So 6-0 is not really in the spirit of a meme match.
No, probably not, unless you have like you're clicking metronome for the whole match and get one hit KO
Yeah,
moves 6 times in a
it
row.
could happen. Um,
Could happen.
no, I think it's fine because there's really
Yeah.
nothing to play for. In
No,
either
I mean
case,
we're talking like a 0.01% chance that
Wombat
something
can't
like that plays out.
Wombat can't move up in
That's true.
standings,
He's locked in. His diff is so bad that he's kind of stuck at 6 seed.
and
And
like I can't. I mean I can move down in standings, but I'm not in relegation, so it doesn't matter.
exactly. So, yeah, for all intents and purposes, really the only meaningful match is between
Other
me and
than
Quad.
seeding, like
Other
Fat
than
plays
seeding,
Riku, and that's for a bye, so that's a pretty exciting match.
yeah, so it could come down to differential here for the bye because we've got Cats is in a good spot if Huiku wins, where she might have the better differential, so she could actually steal the bye. Because any loss from Fac and any win by Cats would probably put Cats to the top of the leaderboard, unless she only gets like a 1-0 and then Huiku like 6-0. So
Right.
there's three people, kind of four with Sparky, but I'm not going to really think Sparky's in a spot to do that. But three
Nah.
people in position for a bye going into the final week.
So we'll see how this shakes out.
Yeah, very exciting stuff.
Well, if you've made it with us this far, I want to thank you. It's always a pleasure. We're gonna go ahead and upload this video tomorrow, and then over the weekend we're gonna announce our plans for our off-season event for all those not in playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So look forward to that. Thanks again. You're all wonderful, and we will catch you later. Peace.
Peace.